Now this awareness practice is called resting and rising. And ultimately what we're trying to do with meditation is become more aware of the movement, more aware, becoming familiar with how I'm reacting to things, as I said. And so as we rest into our practice, we just watch this constantly changing landscape that we call a life. Okay? So sit, lie down, get comfortable, close your eyes if you want to. And with me, just begin to start following your breath. Or not following, I don't want to use that term, but just watching the movement of the breath. We're just going to start there. You're just going to watch how the breath moves, flowing into and out of the body. Not trying to control it in any way, you're just watching the movement. And this direct action, this direct movement, this direct flow just brings us straight into that moment. It just brings us straight into that moment. No, we can't be feeling the breath in the future. It can only be right now. And that is when you hear teachers talking about this sense of being. This is what they're talking about. Being here. Sensory feelings can only happen momentarily. We can only imagine how they would be. We can't feel how they would be. These are just imaginations. And so just as we're watching our breath, I want you to see, just for now, I want you to see if you can just let go of watching the breath just for a little bit. I just want you to rest openly without any focus. Okay, just seeing if you can rest. Now it often feels like we're going to be trying to do something here. I want you to let go of any idea of doing anything. And we just rest. Often our mind pipes up and tells us we've got all these things that we should be doing. And that's okay. But right now there's nothing else for you to do but take some time to rest. Something we're not overly great at. We don't know how to rest so well. And all we're doing, just taking a few moments now. There's no action needed. Nothing more or less to do, just taking some time to do absolutely nothing. No focus, no effort. And then from this state of rest, what you begin to notice is actually there's a lot of movement in that state of nothingness. We feel the breath moving. We feel the body underneath us. Maybe we can hear my voice or sounds that are going on outside of the room. And so what I want you to do, I just want you to bring some gentle attention to the sounds. Okay, so I just want you to not follow anything in particular, but just allow some of that awareness just to watch the sounds as they come and go. They just sort of rise and fall. And we begin to notice you're still very rested, very calm. But you just become more aware of the movement of sound. And interestingly, just noticing how there's no effort that is required from you to hear or to listen. Your ears will hear or gather the information, and then that information is processed by the mind. And it'll tell you, Dan's speaking. That's the sound of a car. Maybe that's a bird. Whatever it is. And we're just trying to move past those thoughts and just listen. What can you hear? Without the requirement to name everything that rises and falls as well. Just letting the sounds be sounds. There's no good sounds. There's no bad sounds. Although some of them may seem like it. They're just noise, just sound. And we're interpreting that sound as good and bad. And begin to notice even the sound of my voice, you just don't even really need to listen to. You can just begin to rest, and the voice approaches you, your mind translates it. And all this time you're resting and watching the sound rise and fall. And then maybe from this sound you begin to notice again the body that breathes, the sensations that are held in the body. And I just want you to continue with this openness. So you're not trying to follow the breath, just like you're not trying to hear anything in particular. You're just allowing the sounds to be there. I want you to allow the breath to be there as well. So you're watching how this breath just fills and empties effortlessly. No effort done by you, it just does it automatically. This body we have, incredible, knows exactly what to do. And you just rest and watch the movement of the breath as well. Sounds may come, breath may rise and fall. All of this continual change that we get the opportunity to experience as we rest. You haven't done anything in particular. There hasn't really been any sort of action taken. Yet this movement continues to happen. And so again, just for the next moment or few, just resting openly, allowing the sounds to come and go, watching how the breath moves constantly. And the last thing we do is we open up a little bit further. I want you to see, just like you've watched the breath move, you've watched the sounds move, I want you to watch the mind as it moves. And we associate that mind movement as thoughts and emotions. And so from here, all I want you to do, in the same way, you can do it. If you can watch the breath and watch the sounds, you can also watch your thoughts. These things are happening automatically. There hasn't been any effort done by you. These thoughts just rise all on their own. Now, I don't want you to try and stimulate thoughts. I don't want you to try and particularly think about something. Now, the mind, if a bird comes past, it might just remind you that that was a bird. And I just want you to see if you can just let that thought be. Just for the next couple of minutes. There's no good thoughts, there's no bad thoughts. Nothing more important or less important. Just watching how the breath moves. Watching how the sounds come and go. And finally just watching as these thoughts, they rise out of nowhere and empty back into that space. And there's no effort done by you. Right now you are just resting. Not trying to rest, Just taking some moments and watching this dance that we call life. It doesn't matter how good you're doing it. Maybe this was very successful, maybe it wasn't. No, these are just these thoughts. Who are you comparing yourself to? What does success look like? No, if we had a mind that didn't think, we'd never bother even trying meditation. No, really why we're here is to begin to work with this overactive mind that we have. We overthink a lot. And it's not until we begin to sort of notice the overthinking process that we allow it to let go. So thinking is not the problem. No, the mind thinks just like the lungs breathe. And all we're doing, we're just trying to watch and let them be, even just for a couple of minutes. No past, no fail, no good, no bad, no important, less important. We just rest and notice. Watch these things as they rise and fall. And the last thing to do is just take a few moments of doing nothing again. Don't focus on anything, just rest openly. Don't worry about the thoughts, the breath, the sounds, the sensations, just resting completely openly. No focus, no effort, no worries. Even with that sound, just watching as it just comes and goes, rises into your attention and softens. There's no effort needed. And if you haven't already, just allowing your eyes to open. I thank you so much for today and for coming with me on this journey. It's been an absolute pleasure and privilege. Still 3 more sessions to go. This week you'll receive an email from me with the time that we're going to be doing that live session if you want to join us. It'll be on Zoom and I'll send it over to you shortly. But again, thank you. You're doing amazing. And I look forward to seeing you again soon in session 6. Have an amazing rest of your day.